Thank you for joining us tonight at 10. Are you tired of telemarketers calling and tricking you into thinking it's a local number? Well, it's called caller ID spoofing, and it's a growing problem across the country. Courtney Ann Jackson explains how Mississippi is working to crack down on it.
I get about 5 phone calls a day. I've blocked, I know, 50 numbers within the last 4 months. They're really annoying.
A pair of House and Senate bills address the latest headache, spoofing. Even if you don't know the term, you likely know the drill. A call from a familiar area code, but when you pick up, it's a telemarketer or even a scammer.
But it's aggravating the most because you think it's an important call and you stop what you're doing to answer the call, and it's somebody trying to sell you something or somebody saying that you owe them some money.
Senator Sally Doty sponsored the Senate bill to up the penalties for the issue.
It's a real problem. It's real aggravating, and it makes you not want to answer your phone, and it's an infringement on our rights, I believe.
Public Service Commissioner Brandon Presley says the law is needed because their hands are tied.
Right now, if we get a call or a complaint from someone and the number has been spoofed, we have to just, there's nothing we can do about that except forward it to the federal government.
Mississippi passed an anti-spoofing law almost a decade ago, but it was challenged and struck down in court. The newly proposed law would mirror the federal legislation, so the callers would get slapped with double the penalties.
These folks are not Sunday school teachers. They're criminals, they're scam artists, they're people who are evading the law. And so it is tough because many times they'll set up one number one day and the next day they sell that number and they change. And so it's tough for our investigators sometimes to track those down.
But the new law would give them more tools to go after those callers. Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
In other news tonight, for the second time in 3 days, a standoff with police ends with a suspect's death in central Mississippi. Pierre Woods reportedly held himself in a house in Pelahatchie, just east of Jackson. Law enforcement officers trying to get Woods to give himself up and come out, but when he emerged from the house, he reportedly was pointing a gun at officers. Officers shot Woods. Now, this comes on the heels of a hostage situation in Clinton, a suburb of Jackson, on Saturday. Nam Lee reportedly took 6 people hostage. He released 2 children, but when negotiations stalled, police moved in, shooting Lee. The bodies of 4 other hostages were found in the house. Lee died later at a hospital. Well, situations like those in Clinton and Pelahatchie highlight the uncertainty that law enforcement face every time they answer a call, especially when there are family issues involved. Our Quentin Smith speaks with law enforcement officers about the challenges of responding to domestic disturbances. He joins us live in the studio with more. Quentin.
Scott, officers work domestic calls pretty regularly. The calls can range from a husband and wife having issues to parents and children having a dispute. Officers I spoke with today say domestic disturbances are dangerous because they're unpredictable and officers never know what to expect. Whether it's at a home or out in public, a domestic disturbance situation can break out anywhere at any time.
When we go into that type of situation, we're going into a family situation where loved ones are at each other's throat. And again, the passion and the desire that they have for one another, they can take that same passion and turn it against us, the police officers that are coming to assist.
They pretty much are the most dangerous call you can go to because you don't know what mental or emotional state someone's in.
Sergeant Brandon Lovelady has been with the Starkville Police Department for a decade. He's worked his share of domestic calls and says while each one is different,
whether they be siblings, whether they be in a current dating relationship, former dating relationship, whether they have a child together also, or a parent-child situation.
As an officer, it's his goal to defuse and de-escalate the situation. However, sometimes that's not how it always unfolds.
Unfortunately, sometimes it's too late, and incidents like that you may remember occurred at Walmart last year. Tragedies like that occur.
Sometimes that peaceful solution does not come in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Sometimes we think that we see on television shows that, generally in an hour the whole case is wrapped up, but it's not like that in real law enforcement. Sometimes it may take hours.
Columbus Police Chief Fred Shelton admits disturbance calls can be a high risk and also unpredictable. However, he says his officers are trained and taught certain techniques to help calm the situation.
Basically what it is just de-escalation techniques, trying to talk to each other, conflict resolution, talking to each party, trying to see what the issue is and seeing how we can help.
Now, if someone is arrested during a domestic disturbance call, according to state law, a bond shall not be given to the suspect until they've appeared before a judge. Scott?
All right, thank you very much, Quentin. Well, time now to toss things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson with a first look at our forecast. Hey there, Keith.
Scott, right now pretty quiet across our area. We've got some 30s down to 34 in Oxford, still some low 40s though in Columbus and GTR. Cool night out there, but we are dry for the most part. Rain develops on Tuesday. That 48 could actually wait until the evening. Most of us may be stuck in the low to mid 40s all day long. When you wake up in the morning, 30s north, low 40s to mid 40s in the southeast. But there's your good chunk of the day on Tuesday. Widespread 40s around here. Speaking of the rain, we have a few showers just starting to develop south of Columbus. This activity will continue moving to the north as we go throughout the course of the night and blossom as we get into our day Tuesday. I'm back with your full forecast in just a few minutes.
A volunteer fire department in Northeast Mississippi gets some high-tech tools to make things safer for firefighters when they are trying to save lives and property. WCBI's Allie Martin has more from the Richmond Volunteer Fire Department in Lee County.
As chief for the Richmond Volunteer Fire Department, Joe Bannock's #1 priority is the safety of the firefighters who give of their time to help their community. These new air packs, also known as self-contained breathing apparatus, or SCBAs, are also equipped with infrared thermal imaging cameras. The high-tech gear allows firemen to see in smoke-filled buildings or spaces when visibility can be zero.
You cannot see anything, and you're going mostly by feel and touch, following the wall. But now with this new technology, with the thermal imaging cameras, it makes it 100 times more safer for us.
The high-tech self-contained breathing apparatuses not only allow firefighters to see victims in a house fire, it also allows first responders to find a way out if they get disoriented. It's technology that you can't really put a price tag on.
I have not had any kind of a major injury in any of the departments that I've been on in 39 years, and we've had one burned hand, I think it is, and that's about it.
The 4 thermal imaging cameras were purchased with a grant from the E.R. Carpenter Foundation. Chief Bannock says his department may be small, but they have overwhelming support from the community and area businesses.
We're just tickled to death to be able to do what we do.
In Lee County, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
The Richmond Volunteer Fire Department just received a 7 for its insurance rating. That means even lower insurance rates for homeowners in the community served by that department.
Some showers trying to perk on up from, let's just say, Philadelphia east into Kemper County. Not all of this is reaching the ground. Still some dry air in place where we live, but rain chances are going up. Full forecast is next.
WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
All right, here's a live look in Columbus, Tupelo, Vernon, Durham's Pharmacy right there, Louisville, Mississippi. We're looking off to the southwest there. There are some showers just to the southwest of Louisville. Those could be in here later on tonight. We will all have a chance for rain tomorrow. 30s to low 40s in the morning. Most likely we'll warm up into the 40s and just hang out in the 40s all day long. The winds continue from the northeast tonight, and they'll be in that northeasterly flow tomorrow, 10 to 20, so a bit breezy, raw, nasty here for our day tomorrow. Speaking of the showers, not so much here in the Golden Triangle area, just off to the south of Columbus. Maybe a little bit of rain there in Macon, but the air's still pretty dry, so that's probably staying aloft. But down here, west of Scuba towards Philadelphia, just south of Noxapater, some of that could actually be reaching the ground. This is trying to fill on in. It will continue to do so and develop as we go through the course of the night. The air's pretty dry here. quite moist just off to our south, and that moist air is going to be riding on up. The front comes in here during the next 24 hours, and we will have moisture override that front and give rise to rain showers around here. So a 90% chance of rain tomorrow, just about a slam dunk there. Wednesday, elevated rain opportunities through Saturday, it looks like. Several waves of rain, some of which could produce some heavier storms too. Now, putting this into comparison, the wettest 7-day stretch we've ever had in Tupelo, Starkville, Columbus, well over 10 inches of rain. So it doesn't look like we're going to come anywhere near that. But we are going to have some wet weather around here, several rounds of rain and storms, and additional maybe 2 to 5 inches or more in some spots here. Not everyone's going to see 5 inches or more, but it's possible in some spots. Just be aware that some of that could lead to some flooding and maybe some severe weather too. A little bit of potential there Wednesday, a better chance for all of us severe weather-wise on Saturday. We have this flash flood watch for a good chunk of our area for the next couple of days here. Let me show you futurecast. The clouds thickening, rain showers will begin to overspread that dry air and actually reach the ground later tonight into our day tomorrow. I think the heaviest rain tomorrow afternoon and evening across our northwestern areas. And then we make it a little bit of a lull early tomorrow evening before more rain and storms come back in on Wednesday morning. Some of that will linger into Wednesday afternoon. That could provide some of that initial strong storm activity around here. And then we'll see a little bit of rain possible on Thursday and Friday, probably not as concentrated as what we may see over the next 24 hours. But severe weather could be a little bit of a concern on Wednesday. The better opportunity overall in the region most likely on Saturday. Let's check it out with your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. We are looking at 48 tomorrow, 66 Wednesday, 50s on Thursday, 65 on Friday, 70 Saturday. Scott, with a chance for some strong storms.
Well, Severe Weather Awareness Week, and as if on cue, like Keith said, the potential for flooding rains is in the forecast, with 3 to 8 inches of rain predicted in parts of the area. Now, when dealing with the threat of flooding, comes the time to think of insurance. Insurance agent Denise Good says people should have flood insurance regardless if you live in a flood zone or not. She says that 8 inches of rain will swamp areas that don't usually flood.
Don't ever think that just because you're not in a flood zone that you will not flood, because water doesn't care where it goes. And so many times when water comes up in town, the creeks and the rivers, and we will have people that flood in areas that are not even in a flood zone.
Good says if you're thinking about getting flood insurance, there is a 30-day waiting period before it actually goes into effect. Well, high school playoff basketball comes to town. Tom has highlights coming up a little bit later in sports.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Welcome back. The human heart is a large muscle, and a heart attack can cause serious damage to it. But there are ways to re-strengthen the organ. We find out about cardiac rehab in tonight's Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Kayla Pruitt, Director of Cardiovascular Services at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. Tonight, I want to discuss cardiac rehab. Cardiac rehab is a medically supervised program for people who have suffered a cardiac event. The program includes an individualized and personalized treatment plan designed to improve your cardiovascular health. Your individualized plan includes instruction on physical activity, nutrition, stress management, and other health-related areas in a controlled environment. Cardiac rehab is an important part of the treatment for your specific heart problem. If you have had one of the following diagnoses, you may be eligible to participate: heart attack, angina or chest pain, coronary artery angioplasty or stents, open heart surgery such as coronary bypass or valve surgery, heart failure, heart transplant. The cardiac rehab team consists of physicians, nurses, exercise specialists, nutritionists, and other healthcare professionals to ensure the best treatment for each individual patient. Cardiac rehab is usually provided in an outpatient clinic or hospital rehab center where you will learn how to exercise safely and increase your physical activity. Baptist Golden Triangle offers a certified cardiac rehab program to help you in your recovery from a cardiac event. Tonight we have addressed the definition of cardiac rehab. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist when we will discuss what a cardiac rehab program offers.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
Playoff basketball is here and the upsets have begun. Wild first round highlights coming up next in sports.
It's with Tom Ebel.
The high school basketball playoffs are here. Survive and advance, lose and go home. We saw plenty of games that went according to plan, but then some other games that were haywire and saw some insane upsets already in round one of the high school basketball playoffs. But we'll start in 6A on the girls' side. We'll go over to Columbus. Lady Falcons looking to defend home court, taking on South Haven. After trailing at the half, Columbus turns it up a notch. In transition, Tyler Turner to Hannah White. She does the rest, finishes for 2. Maybe White one more time on the other end. Watch this crossover. Skirt just leaves the defender in the dust, finishes at the hoop. Columbus opens the second half on a 14-0 run, and icing on the cake off the inbounds, DJ Jackson to a wide open Ania Sadler for the easy layup. Lady Falcons outscore South Haven 27-10 in the second half. They get the dub 51-35. The first playoff game in the brand new New Hope Gym, Lady Trojans taking on Roosevelt. The Lions able to get out to an early lead and one bucket here early. Friendly bounce goes. So Roosevelt up early, but the Lady Trojans battle back. Nice interior play. Anna Prince, India Wood, extra passage, Aquila Sherrod showing off the power down low. Finishes through the contact. New Hope closing the gap in the first quarter. And right before the first quarter buzzer, Imani Harris through with the transition bucket through the traffic. That would be at the buzzer. Lady Trojans get the win 46-40. They'll advance, but who will they face? The most insane game of the night. New Albany taking on #1 in the state, Pontotoc. Shatanya Williams on the drive, bounce pass to Cardiana Bailey for the bucket. The Bulldogs up by 6. Later in the first, scramble for the loose ball. Warriors able to get it. Allie Beckley to Samuel Brooks down low for the deuce. Back and forth ball game early in the first. And then still in the opening quarter, Amber McCoy. Outlet to Jaden Spears. Fakes the jumper. Oh, look at the pretty floater in the short corner. But New Albany pulls off the biggest upset in the state. The Lady Bulldogs top #1 Pontotoc 55-51. New Albany taking on New Hope in the second round. Over this time to Amory taking on Tisch County. It'd be a good one. Fourth quarter we go. Braves inbounding. Morgan Perkins to Robin McMillan for 2. Braves down by 9, trying to claw their way back. Later in the fourth, Tisch cuts into the deficit. Perkins to Madison Bennett for the bucket. It's a Tisch County run, but can Amory stifle it? Now with less than 30 seconds left, Panthers only up 3, but Deshauna Fields, ice in her veins, drains the free throw. That would seal the deal. Amory goes on to the next round with a 63-59 win. Some other scores from around the viewing area. West Point advances to the second round with a 54-34 win over Lake Cormorant. In 5A as well, Saltillo edges past Center Hill, 43-40 for the W. Louisville dominates Greenwood, 73-39 to advance. Houston unable to get it done on the road at Ruleville. Ruleville getting the win 72-60. Hamilton dominating all year long. It would continue at home. The Lady Lions get the win 51-35. Vardaman gets the W over Coffeyville 64-45. And West Lowndes, oh man, losing a tough one to Ethel 57-56. In SEC women's basketball, Ole Miss falls on the road 78-56 to Georgia. Crystal Allen finishing with 21 points in that one. Sophomore night in Scuba, JUCO rivalry hoops between EMCC and ICC. Lady Indians on the board first. Tabria Gandy, Tanisha Miller down low for the nice high-low game. ICC up early, and the Starkville product continue to hoop. In transition, Gandy with the Euro step left-hand finish. That's pretty basketball, but EMCC comes right back. Amaya Rush, beautiful backdoor dish to Emily Evans for the finish. EMCC, huge upset, 56-54. They snap ICC's 16-game win streak. And not enough for the men's side, but we'll have it on WCBI Sunrise as well as our website. Make sure you tune in for those highlights. But that's it for sports. Last look at your weather is next.
Area Boy Scouts take their science knowledge to the sky. 16 scouts from Troop 45 in Starkville got up close and personal with physics. The scouts received a classroom lesson prior to suiting up for indoor skydiving in Atlanta. It's called iFly. Now, the STEM program teaches the physics of air flight and then lets the students test it out, the aerodynamics in a vertical wind tunnel. Cool stuff.
Indeed. You know, I didn't do that, but I once jumped off the stratosphere in Las Vegas. But you're a cable.
I have seen that, and no.
You're cable, so it's not quite as exciting, but that looks cool, though. Weather-wise, we do have some rain coming our way. Probably a lot of 40s tomorrow, so it's going to be a blustery, raw day. Warmer Wednesday with a chance for some storms. More rain Thursday, Friday, into your Saturday.
All right, a lot of rain. All right, thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great night. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.